Hello, hello. We are waiting for more people to trickle in. Hi, Anna.
Hi, you look nice.
Oh, thank you. You too. I
How
love
are
your
you?
plants in the back.
What's that?
I love your plants in the
Oh my
back.
God, oh my gosh, I have so many plants in my office. I'm just gonna get this ready. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go grab a cup of water to show how to use a tincture.
Yeah, please do.
I'm like running around my office. How's it going? You're in New York?
Good. It's been going. Yeah, I'm in New York right now, so it's quite warm. It's like 80 or no, 90 degrees today. So, and it
How
was
fun.
just a thunderstorm, so it's quite humid.
Oh, I love that though. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. Looking at my notes here. Oh, so I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do are you gonna do the slides or?
We're just gonna go free flow because the slides will remove the video from our face, and Sabrina can't join us to just show the
Oh,
slides.
so is
Yeah,
she going to do the slides with my?
she was, but then she's actually boarding a plane because she's coming to New York as well.
Oh, okay. So we're not doing the slides at all.
No, no,
Oh.
but I'm gonna use the slides as a guide.
That's what I'm gonna do then. Okay, so let's see. Should I do that on my phone?
Yeah, that's easier, or you can just have two screens up
If I had two screens. Oh, you mean like?
within your browser. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I could do that. But then I couldn't. Yeah, that's true.
You'll just see a very small picture of me.
That's true. I could do that. Okay. Cool. Um, okay, so I sort of like went through this, and I guess I didn't really practice. I'm just gonna, in a way, kind of wing it.
Yeah, no worries. You'll be great. You'll be wonderful. By the way, we're already alive, but there's no audience on. So, but we'll start probably I would say in the next 3 to 4 minutes. But like
Okay.
people kind of trickle in and then we'll start. But
Okay.
in the meantime, we could just talk casually.
Okay, that's fine. And then are you recording right now?
It's automatically recording. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Let me just pull this open and here's
What kind of plant is it back there? Because it looked for a second, I was like, "Oh, is that an alocasia?" And then I was like, "Oh no, that does
it's
not."
actually a bird of paradise.
Oh, really? You can grow it indoors?
Yeah, there's the pot.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. Oh, beautiful.
Isn't she pretty?
She's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I'll introduce you to all my other plants. Here's my this is my baby that I bought from like she was like 2 feet when I got her, and now she has a baby at a daughter at my house.
Oh, nice.
Here's my, I love this is my birthday present from a patient. I just love her. And then here's, I have plants all I live in like a rainforest in my house.
That's amazing. Love it. Yeah, I'm trying to incorporate more plants in my house as well, and it's been yeah, I'm just slowly, we just moved, so we're like slowly bringing in plants and hoping and seeing if they'll survive in the lighting. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're live, we're not going to talk about where you moved to, but we can.
We'll talk later.
Later. Yeah,
So thanks for
exactly.
joining. We're going to start in a few minutes.
Okay.
So excited to have you here, Dr. Anna Gold. How do you pronounce your is it say or
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
shit. Okay.
shit. Yeah. It's the
Awesome.
Taiwanese way of spelling it.
Oh, I never knew that.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well,
the.
I don't have Taiwanese friends with shit as
Oh,
the.
okay. Yeah. I don't
Oh,
know how.
hey.
Yeah. So it's, it's XIE if you're from China, but
Mhm.
it's shit. And I grew up with it being a kind of a nuisance because no one knew how to pronounce it. But anytime you
It's
see,
a perfect like way to start conversations. Like,
yeah, that's one way to put it.
yeah,
And Goldschmidt, Gold is actually my husband's last name.
yeah.
And Goldschmidt was his original last name, and he changed it to Gold.
Oh, interesting. That's nice.
So, yeah,
But make it easier for people to
totally. Well, yeah, so I didn't change my last name for many, many years until I was in Chinese medicine school, actually. And then my one of my teachers said it was better for me astrologically.
Oh,
So
wonderful. Hey, names really have power, so
they
it's
do.
mm-hmm.
It's an ancient art, it was a numerology thing, but so we have
Yeah.
more people joining.
Yeah, we have more people
Hey.
joining. Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us this morning if you're in the West Coast and afternoon if you're in the East Coast. I guess we have one person in the East and one in the West right now.
Okay. Great. Let me just
Yeah,
pull it
so
up.
we are going to start in, wait another minute for more people to trickle in, and then I'm going to introduce Dr. Anna Gold. I'm so excited for this
I'm
live
so
stream
excited. I'm so
because I
excited.
can learn more about how to further utilize your tinctures just in my everyday life.
Yes, I'm absolutely thrilled to be sharing them with people because I've been using them in my practice well, the tinctures I've been using for about 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say. But these formulas I've been using in my practice for almost 20 years, some of them. And
Yeah, so you
it's,
know what works and what doesn't. So it's
yeah.
like how
So
powerful it can be.
I was going to say this during the presentation, but because Chinese medicine is an individualized medicine,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know that it's the practice to visit a Chinese medicine practitioner and um, to get a formula that's specifically prescribed for you. But because we live in such times where it's, busy, busy, go, 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 everyone wants stuff that's really easily accessible. And
Mm-hmm.
so this sort of came about partially from that. But
Yeah.
I'll go through that when we actually start.
Yeah. So actually, why don't we start? So
Okay.
for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Angela Gray, co-founder of YINA, and then I have the lovely Dr. Anna Gold, Anna Shea Gold, who is also a licensed acupuncturist and a doctor of Oriental medicine. Or actually East Asian medicine would be the proper way of saying it. She's a former yoga instructor specializing in women's health. And really, her mission, like ours, is we're here to demystify what traditional East Asian medicine is all about and how to serve kind of like the issues of the modern women and men. But for Dr. Gold, it's women. And she has kind of a radical feminist attitude and combines understanding of imbalance from both a Western and Eastern perspective. Dr. Gold is really here to help illuminate what East Asian medicine has to offer by making healing herbs more accessible to all through her tinctures. So she has, again, over 20 years of experience empowering thousands of women about their body, sexuality, reproductive health at every stage of their lives. And also, she works in educating women about the interconnections between the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of health, and how that connects with their body and their environment. And of course, like lifestyle and also their everyday routine. So, so happy to have Dr. Gold on board. We have a pretty like kind of we'll go through a few things. We'll talk about the history of tinctures, origins of tinctures, the benefits of these tinctures. You see them here on, I think on your screen. It's either on the left side or on the bottom of your screen. These are the beautiful tinctures that Dr. Gold has created. And again, if some of you have heard, she has been working with these formulas for decades and have seen the amazing beneficial qualities that these tinctures can work for people. And she's here to share more about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Angela. So nice to meet everyone here. Just a little bit more of a background. I went to UC Berkeley for my undergrad. I was actually a pre-med major there, and I went through the whole curriculum. And
Same.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and back then I didn't know that there was such a thing as like a mind body. I mean, we always sort of knew as people who grew up culturally Chinese, because my mom would always take me to the herbalist in addition to the Western medicine, and I was really a sickly little kid, and I started getting acupuncture and Chinese medicine when I was second grade. But when I was growing up, I didn't go to the acupuncturist. I was really scared of Chinese medicine. And then I was in medical school, and then something about just the finiteness of the medical industry just felt wrong to me. And so when I graduated, I moved to New York. I taught yoga at Jivamukti in the 90s. And it was through there that I started learning about Ayurvedic medicine and about Eastern medicine. And it was due to an injury that I had that I returned to acupuncture. And from there, started getting really deep dive into the holistic medicine. And so I am on the board of ABORM, which is the American Board of Oriental Reproductive Medicine. And I'm also currently in Mazen Al-Kafadi's dermatology diplomat class. And so in my practice, I always use labs. I use Western ways of diagnosis, and I use it to sort of confirm how East Asian medicine, acupuncture, herbal medicine can really be helpful. And it's a really beautiful blend. So anyways, these tinctures were developed because I was working in conjunction with Christina Holy. She's a world-renowned esthetician and skincare specialist. And we had been working on all these clients. She does the topical regimen, and I would do the internal medicine, with labs and with herbs. And a lot of these people who had skincare issues would end up with the same formulas. And so these tinctures were developed so that people who were outside of the Bay Area where I practice can have access to them. And not only were they used in my practice, but they were also, used in this the skincare community that what I had with Christina. And so that's kind of how the tinctures came about 4 or 5 years ago. And I love tinctures because they sort of take the work of boiling down medicines,
which is quite cumbersome, actually.
Yes, exactly. Capsules have been around for a long time. It's used widely in Southeast Asia, Far East Asia, but in traditional medicines, in Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine, the reason why we boil the herbs and drink them is because when we access the taste in our mouths, that is the beginning of healing. It's absorbed through the mucosa. And the taste in Chinese medicine, as Angela knows, is so important because there are different tastes that correspond with different organs and go through different meridians to the different organs. And so tinctures was sort of like a beautiful amalgam of the efficacy of modern medicine, and then also combining sort of like more traditional methodology. And so wanted to get into a little bit about the history of tinctures. Tinctures have been around for thousands of years, actually, and it's usually done through a menstruum of alcohol. But you can, in modern medicine, we also use like glycerin and honey and vinegar and other ways of distilling the plants and the active ingredients in the plants.
Yeah, it's a way of further extracting and breaking down the cell
Yeah,
wall, right,
exactly.
to get the bioactive aspect of the herb.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we do with our tinctures is actually very traditional in the way that we take all of the herbs in the formula that is written out in a prescription, and then we decoct it in purified water, and then they're soaked with alcohol for 30 days. And in that 30-day period, all of the active components get soaked out into the tinctures. And then they actually, with this process, they macerate the herbs, so they make it like a double concentrate. So they're like super concentrated, and
all the essence out of the
yes,
herb.
exactly. But it has, I mean, some of the tinctures you'll see at the bottom, there's like actually little remnants of herbs.
Yeah,
so you're getting bits and pieces of that as well. And so they're really potent. That's why you can do like, just 3 dropperfuls, and you get a full dose. Whereas before, if you decoct herbs, you would just get like a pile of herbs at the end of like a pot, and then you would have to drink this liquid that's like this much.
Yeah, and oftentimes, if you're decocting the raw herbs, you have to might decoct it a second time to further extract what's inside the herbs, right? So it's quite a bit of a process, and I guess for the modern person, it might be intense, and also it's quite smelly. So when you're cooking down herbs, I love it. So I love it because I grew up with it too. So I love the smell. But when I was a kid, I was like, no, so gross tasting.
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm like, I love it. I like the weird taste. I like the bitterness. It's
right.
It feels healing.
Yeah, I tell people, so maybe I should just demonstrate right now because I have this here, but I tell people that they can put the dropper directly in their mouths, but if you don't, so the alcohol content is actually really, really small, and because I'm Chinese and I actually lack the enzyme to absorb alcohol, I can actually put these directly in my mouth and I don't get pink or red. And usually after like 2 sips of wine, I am like beet red. So I don't get that with these tinctures. They're made in organic cane alcohol, and I'm using balance because I tend to be a little bit irritable a lot, and so I have it at my desk all the time. Guzzling it. But so you can put like a little bit of hot or warm water, never cold, because in Chinese medicine we don't drink ice cold water in Chinese medicine, because we want the digestive to be warm. We want like the agni and the fire and the digestive to be helping your digestion all the time. So you can just the full dose is 3 dropperfuls, not drops. That's also kind of a misconception here. Okay, so
let me just backtrack. How often do you take it, and how long do you take these tinctures?
I will get into that. So you can do 3 doses a day is what it says on the bottle. As a doctor of Chinese medicine, if somebody was coming in and they have really exacerbated symptoms, I would probably do more. But the general dose is 3 dropperfuls. So I'm just going to pinch, put that in here, pinch, put that in here. And then if you're really sensitive to alcohol, you can let it sit for up to 5 minutes in hot water, and it'll burn off most of the alcohol, and then you'll drink it. So this is one way to do it. You can do it directly in the mouth, like that, 3 times. And the other way that my patients have taught me is that they, with the tonics, like with Elevate, they'll put it in their water bottle and then they just drink it through the day. They'll do like the full dose or a full
Yeah, but
dose
then
and
it's
half
like
directly
more
in.
mild tasting, right?
Yeah, right. So with balance, though, I would suggest that you just do it either directly in the bottle or with water, because you can actually feel the effects pretty quickly. Usually within 20 minutes. If someone's feeling really irritable, then they'll actually start, just feels like the edge is off a little bit. But let's go back to the tinctures in general, and I'm happy to answer any questions later. So
and everyone, if you have questions, please do write it on the chat box, and we'll be able to answer all your questions today.
Yeah. Okay. So we love tinctures. I love tinctures because they, like I said, they're more bioavailable than capsules. They're directly absorbed into the bloodstream through the mucosa, and it's really easy to carry around. And my formulas are so like I said before, I started them because I was working with Christina Holy. And so the original set in the collection has 3 tinctures specifically targeting for skin. And then the other ones for stress, for sleep. There's one actually for immunity, but mostly the complementary formulas are to help support skin health. And we know at this point how important it is for us to have the internal organs be working correctly in order for it to sort of, reflect on the skin, right? Because beauty and the glow and the health of the skin is much more than superficial. It's about, your gut, it's about your blood vessels and the nutrients in your blood flow. And so these tinctures are here to support the ingredients that you put on and are absorbed topically. That's why it's like so beautiful to use with the YINA skincare line, because you're getting herbs absorbed from the superficial layer, and then you're getting herbs absorbed through the inside, and it's just sort of bolstering, it's like doubling up the effects. So it's very, very exciting. All right, so let's get into the tinctures. Did you want to say something?
No, I'm excited to get into the tinctures. So tell me about how, I mean, you mentioned a little briefly how it kind of all started, but tell me like just the origin stories. I mean, behind like actually where this is produced. You mentioned it's done in small batches, right?
Yeah. So the herbs that we get are sourced from a company here in Santa Rosa, and we try to get as many organic herbs as we can. And with East Asian medicine, a lot of the herbs are not grown in the United States, but most of the herbs are grown here. Most of them are USDA certified organic and wild crafted whenever we can. We have third parties that test for microbials, that test for any contaminants, and so they're heavy metal free. They're Prop 65 in California is really strict, so they're Prop 65 compliant. And I use a lab and a manufacturer here in Oakland, actually.
Yeah, that's great. I love local production. It's like you're getting the herbs in Santa Rosa, so everything is really local.
We love supporting small local businesses. And so and because like I said, originally I was making these tinctures for what I saw in my clinic with Christina, and there's one for breakouts and acne. There's one for which is called Clear. There's one called
Right.
Elevate was originally made for mature skin, for people who are really fatigued, people who are like saggy, crepey, sort of lusterless skin. There's one for eczema. There's one, and there's actually one coming out, which is kind of top secret. It's coming out next month. There's one for rosacea, but you heard it here first. It's very exciting. And then Balance is the one that supports it. That's for people, people who have anything that's exacerbated during PMS or during like stressful times. Because as we know, we break out more during stressful period because the body makes more cortisol. And if your body's making cortisol, your body's more inflamed also when you're stressed. And that can actually affect your gut health. It can affect the inflammation on the skin. And
that's why I brought it with me on my trip. I need balance in my life.
And I don't know if you know this, but cortisol, the stress hormone, can actually it makes your sebum create more oils. So that's why people get like stress breakouts.
Mm-hmm.
So Balance is a really good one to use during times of stress, in addition to the Clear Balance. And I'm going to go into the ones that that we have here on your screen. So the Dr. Anna Gold line available here is Balance, Clear, and Elevate. So Clear is the one that we use for blemishes. We use that for cystic acne. It has the Chinese medicine language actions of dispersing wind. It cools the heat in the blood. Like sort of, if it's in the blood with a capital B, which has which is basically like the nutrients that are microcirculating in the capillaries, that will erupt in acne if there is heat in the blood. And it also has herbs like Baishao peony and Dongui to actually cool and nourish the blood. It has stuff to move stagnation as well, so that when you have these like these stagnant bumps and cystic acne, it actually will cool it, move it, nourish it. And then there's also like calendula flowers, which in research has been shown to help the healing of the skin. So it does all of that. One question I get a lot though is like how much do I have to use and how quickly can I see the results go? And so I would say that if you have lifelong or many years of chronic acne, that you would need to take this initially for a couple of weeks. If you only get it around the time of breakouts, then you just take it during, like if you get it before your period, then you take it around the time of you're going to get your period. But initially it can take a couple of weeks before you see a really marked change. But the beauty of Chinese medicine is that they're tonics. And so as you're clearing the branch, as we call it, as we're clearing the symptoms, you're actually nourishing the systems that are depleted that have made the symptoms come out in the beginning.
So the root cause the problem.
Yes, exactly. So once the initial, clearing happens, what I've seen with my patients is if they start breaking out again, let's say the following month, it actually takes a lot less time for them to clear the acne out, because it's like the body remembers. It's the same thing with acupuncture. The body kind of remembers it and then it clears it out.
So we have a guest who has a question. So is there any rule of thumb for the amount of liquid to use, or would more water dilute the benefit of the tincture?
No, because you're still ingesting the same amount. I mean, traditionally we're taking the medicines separately as medicine. But I've had clients who put it in their smoothie, put it in their coffee, put it in, put it however, because some people don't actually like the taste of it like we do. So it does not dilute the potency of it.
And then also, is there a particular time that's best for taking the tinctures?
Not at all. You just take it, for the ones, I have a sleep tincture, that one you take in the evening, but all the other ones you can take it whenever. The only caution that I would say along that line is like Elevate, which we're going to get into in just a second, has like a tiny bit, it's like 10% or 8% of ginseng in it. And some people are actually really, really sensitive to ginseng. It can be an upper for them. I've only had one guy who was 85-year-old say that it affected his sleep, but I was just like, well, then don't take it after sunset. But generally, no.
Awesome.
Okay. Should I move on?
Yeah, let's talk about my favorite one, Balance.
Okay, so Balance is also my favorite one. Balance is my best-selling tincture for stress and irritability. It's actually based on a formula made in 400 AD that is for liver qi stagnation, overacting on spleen. And so this is sort of like the modern conundrum, right? So liver qi stagnation in Chinese medicine it equals to like nervous system dysregulation. So it's good for people who are irritable, people who are PMSing, you know, like when you're sort of feeling like overwhelmed and everything's sort of tight. This is the tincture for you. And in Chinese medicine, the liver gallbladder channels. So gallbladder and liver are wood pairing. It is the organ pairing and the yin yang pairing in Chinese medicine. And the liver channel goes up like the inside of the leg up to the groin, and the gallbladder channel goes up to the outside. But it's basically like the pivot points. It's like all like on the side here. And the gallbladder takes on whatever excess the liver has. And so a lot of people who have like tension here, who get these like headaches on the sides of their heads, those are all liver qi stagnation, gallbladder excess headaches. And even like up here, that's a liver points up here, not liver points, but the liver yang rising points. And so Balance is great for, it's great for stress. And a lot of times, you know, those symptoms that we talked about happens a week, for some people even 2 weeks if they have PMDD instead of just PMS before. And so I have people take Balance if they do have PMS or PMDD, take it from ovulation to period. And if you're a guy, you can still take it because, you know, for the people who are really like, oh, all the time, this just kind of like, you know, eases you into your day. I tell people that it's sort of, well, actually a client said this to me, that it helps them be their best selves when they're taking this. And so this formula has chai hu, luperum, and bai shao, which is peony, and that helps with liver qi stagnation. Fuling, which is poria, baizhu, ginger, xinjiang, which regulates the digestive system. So for anyone who gets like stressed out and then they get digestive issues, we know so many people like this, right?
Yeah, it has a direct correlation.
Absolutely. So in Chinese medicine, it's like the controlling cycle. If you're stressed or your liver is bound up, then your digestion, you're either too hungry, not hungry enough, or you have like nausea. Like those are all liver qi overacting on spleen. And so this is perfect for that person. And then I added ashwagandha and lemon balm to the formula because ashwagandha has been shown in studies to lower cortisol levels, and lemon balm also helps to regulate the nervous system, and it works really well. I have a client who used to take Xanax on the plane whenever she's an executive at a big Fortune 500 company, and instead of taking Xanax now she takes this. So
a lot less side effects.
Yes, with a lot less side effects, exactly. We were going to talk about the seasons, but I guess we'll talk about the seasons at the end. Yeah?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going in, I just had one more question. Another person asked, is it better with food or on an empty stomach?
I would say you should be taking it. So if you don't have digestive issues, you can take it on an empty stomach. You can take it in between meals or like a half an hour after you eat, or even on, or even first thing in the morning. That's fine if you don't have any digestive issues. If you do tend to have a weak stomach, I would take it with a little bit of food in your stomach.
Okay. Definitely. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we're segueing into the other part of this live stream class, which is seasonal wellness. So, oh,
we have to talk about Elevate.
Oh yes, Elevate. I almost forgot. Please do. Elevate.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. So Elevate is the last tincture we're going to talk about here. Elevate it does so many things. It's a little bit hard to understand if you're, I guess, not versed in Chinese medicine. I've had clients who are like, I don't understand why it does so many things, but if you explain it in Chinese medicine terms, it makes all the sense. So I developed this mostly for mature aging skin, for people who have like dry skin, crepey skin, puffy skin. And that's because it has herbs in there to nourish kidney. So as we know, as people age, their kidney yin, kidney yang, in their essence gets depleted in jing, and that is indicative of sort of what happens, with the texture of the skin. But it also has herbs like Horia, Fuling, ginseng, and astragalus, huangqi, to actually fortify the adrenals, and it raises kidney yang, and so therefore like the puffiness is what's addressed. But it is really good for people who are really depleted, who, let's say, like are burning their candles at both ends, who just feel so tired after a long-term illness, or people who are sort of overcoming long-term illnesses. And so this is actually really great for that. So it's for fatigue, it's for dry skin, it's for brain health as well. So this is based on a formula that has been shown in research studies to actually help with the telomeres, which are the end caps and the chromosomes. So it helps with focus and memory as well. And so that's Elevate. And then you can now segue into
well, one thing about these tinctures, like if any of us have questions about what exactly would be best suited for ourselves, can they email you to ask questions?
Absolutely. My email is on my website. My email is Anna, ANNA, at DrAnnaGold, DrAnnaGold.com. Maybe you can type that into the chat. Yeah. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
And a question, can you take 2 at a time, or do you recommend only taking 1 tincture?
That is a great question. So you can take more than 1 at a time, absolutely. As I was saying before, like if you tend to get PMS related breakouts, taking balance with clear during the week of PMS is a beautiful combination, and you can do it in the same cup. You can do it at the same time. So 3 dropperfuls of each one. Mm-hmm. You can mix all of them together or take them at the same time. The only one that I would say to be mindful of, which I don't think we need to worry about, that is the Spell, which is the one for eczema. That I wouldn't do it at the same time as the one for acne. I would say like pick one, and then when one is resolved or mostly resolved, then do the next one.
Yep. And just to let you guys know, we're having a live stream special right now. So some of you know some of our products. We have the Mind Body Ritual. So it's Mind Body Ritual. You could choose a serum that you like the most, and also one of Dr. Anna Gold's tinctures for the price of $100 at a value of $122. So it's a really good bundle to try. And you can always gift the Mind Body Ritual if you already have YINA products to a friend. But it's a special we have right now. If you type in the code YINAXAG, you will get the offer. So I will type it on here so that you guys have that. It's supposed to pop up, but we're having some technical issues. Thanks for bearing me on that. So with these tinctures, bear in mind that you also have to work with lifestyle tips, right? Lifestyle practices, things that you want to be aware of and incorporate into your daily routine. So, for instance, right now we're in the Chinese calendar, we're already in summer, even though the summer solstice hasn't we're not there yet. So just be mindful and watch out for excessive sweating because sweat belongs to the fluids of the heart. And in the summertime, the heart channel and also the small intestine channels are the channels that are quite active. And another thing to do is also eat seasonally and also eat some cooling foods. So what exactly are cooling foods in traditional Chinese medicine and East Asian medicine? Well, it's the things that are actually available for you to buy right now. So tomatoes, melons, fresh herbs, zucchini, fava beans, green beans, cucumbers, like those are some cooling foods that you can eat right now. It helps clear some of what we call summer heat. And then you also want to support your digestive health by supporting your spleen. And what that means is you want to eat foods such as Chinese yam, it's called shanyao, or nagaimo in that's the Japanese way of calling it. Also a little bit of ginger, millet, rice. Some peanuts are good, adzuki beans, also job's tears or coke seed. That's really good as well and very good for your spleen. Lotus root, snow mushrooms, asparagus, that those are in season right now. So do eat that. And perilla leaves. If you go to Asian grocery, you might find perilla leaves to eat. And also eggs. And again, like we mentioned earlier, or what Dr. Gold said, please avoid iced beverages and food. So ice cream, I know it's hot. Eat a little bit less of it. It's really inhibits the full functioning of your spleen and stomach when you have excess cold that you're consuming. So some of the other things that you want to do is also refrain from excessive heat or anger, so irritability. So that's why you might want to take balance because balance will help with that. And clear. Yeah, and clear. Yes, yeah. And clear. And then also you might want to incorporate some type of like meditation or exercise is a really good way to kind of help move the chi around and prevent stagnation in the body. Because when there's stagnation, then it can lead to more irritability. And so you also want to support good flow of qi by also incorporating maybe some acupressure. You could take your favorite gua sha tool and just do a light gua sha throughout your body, as well as your head and your scalp, which I will kind of demonstrate a little bit later. And then switch to the appropriate skincare. If you're breaking out more during the summer, you might want to consider using our Clarify Botanical Serum, which has a lot of anti-inflammatory herbs in there. It's a very, very lightweight oil. It has perilla seed oil as one of the main base oils in the serum to help with the skin and also to just balance the sebum production. And of course, you would want to incorporate some of these acupressure points. So we're going to show 3 points today, and we chose 3 because it's simple to remember. We don't want it to be confusing, like 10 points, and you're like, oh no, where are all these points? So 3 points, it's simple. One is called Taiyang. So the point is just right here on your side of your temples. There's 2 points right here. And what does this point do? It helps to dissipate heat. It clears kind of the head and also brightens the eyes. So if you're feeling stress and tension kind of building up and rising, this point is really, really good to stimulate. And sometimes I like using the point of the gua sha tool, and I just do circles rotation. And the cooling aspect of the gua sha tool, you can actually put it in the fridge, take it out, and then use it too. That cooling effect also helps with stress and tension.
I have mine right here.
Yeah.
And it's a divot. You can feel it.
It's a depression and a divot. So you feel kind of a depression. It's sunken in, and that's where the point is. So the next point that's really also great, it's called Shenmen, which is heart seven, and it calms the spirit. It really helps with a lot of the emotional blockage that might arise in your body. It helps alleviate anxiety, and then of course it helps regulate the heart, blood, and qi movement and flow. So where is this point exactly? How do you normally tell a patient where the point is? Do you normally tell them about this point?
It's just, yeah, of course. We use it all the time. It's really good for sleep. It's really good for calming. Mm-hmm. So I just say go to the wrist crease, and you'll find the just on the edge, the lateral edge
of the tendon,
a little tendon, and you want to go to the inside of that tendon.
Yeah. So it's more on the side.
It's more on the side
of your arm, wrist, and it's both sides, by the way.
Yeah.
So you want to stimulate that. And again, you can use your gua sha tool, or you could use your fingers and just, stimulate the point and press. And let's say you don't have your tool. What I do is I also just press and hold and release. And that's also very helpful. And take nice deep breaths while you're doing this.
Shoulders down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not up here. Do it when your arms are relaxed. Otherwise, you're like, oh, I'm getting more stressed. Shoulders down, and then deep diaphragm breathing. Mm-hmm. And then the third point, which is an amazing point in Chinese medicine, which is Jusan Li, stomach 36. So this point is really, really good for a number of things, but for this in particular, it helps with poor appetite, digestion, nausea, pain, and it's really, really good for qi deficiency. So, and what does that mean? It means like you need extra, kind of like the tonic, the boost. So it will be a perfect point to pair with the Elevate tincture. And it's a calming point for manic depression. It's a really, really like booster point that we use in Chinese medicine. And where is that located? I think I guess I could demonstrate where it is. If you put your leg up, it's right here. So it's one finger breadth from the front bone, the tibia, and then it's on the side here. So if you're relaxed, you can just put your thumb kind of down, and you'll find the point. But we do have a lot of images on our social media. So if you guys have questions on how to find that point, please let us know. So those
are a really big point. So it's not just like, like on the point.
Not a little fine, yeah.
It's actually a really big point. So you just if you go up the bone and it turns to the side, it's like a huge circular area, and you just find the most sore area, and then
like the tender point. Yeah. So what I usually do is I just kind of just take the gua sha tool and just from the side of the tibia and just go down the entire channel. And that's the stomach channel. So I stimulate the entire channel.
So good.
And again, it's both sides of your legs.
And if you're feeling really tired, if you will notice, that point will actually be really sore, whether you're pressing on it or not.
Yes. And if you're stressed too, it's quite tender.
Right. Yeah. All the ways our bodies are telling us to listen.
Yes. We definitely, it's something, it's like when we're so tired and stressed out, it's hard at times. So what I usually tell patients, it's like, well, just take a moment. You don't have to do anything actually. You could just take a nice, deep, relaxing breath, and then maybe stimulate some acupressure points. And if you're like, well, I don't know where to start, you can even just start from your scalp and then do these scalp massages and just, or do kind of what we call combing the side of your head. And what this does is really help also release stress and tension.
Because all the gallbladder points are right here.
Yeah, all right here. So the gallbladder, which was corresponding with the liver, which also indicates stress at times, or those are the channels are activated. So this will help again release and increase chi flow through these channels to help break up the blockage and the stagnation.
I want to address a commonly asked question about the tinctures, which is, can I take them if I'm pregnant or lactating? And so I want to put this out there because in Chinese medicine, we have a very specific herbs that are contraindicated in pregnancy and in breastfeeding. And none of those are actually in these herbs. However, I would say to always default to your Chinese medicine practitioner and to be safe and, better safe than sorry. But if I'm seeing someone on a regular basis, I'm comfortable prescribing them. But, if you're not comfortable taking herbs during pregnancy, I would say just kind of wait. And then also with lactation. But there are no actual contraindicated herbs in these herbs, but always, proceed with caution.
Yes, and if you really have even further questions, you could always see your local TCM practitioner. If you're in the Bay Area or in Berkeley, you could see Dr. Anna Gold, and she'll definitely be able to help you. But definitely, these are supplements, so again, please be aware that, hey, if you have any questions or any kind of issues, please reach out to Dr. Anna Gold, and she'll be able to answer your questions.
Yeah.
And again, she's experienced with using these formulas for so many years. So there's probably many, many different case scenarios that she's experienced. So she'll be able to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to briefly show where these points are, because it's easy when I'm when I'm pointing at it, but I'll just post it on here really quick. Hold a second. What are some of your favorite recipes for the summer?
For me?
Yeah.
I love mung beans. I actually don't like a lot of legumes, but mung beans and koi seeds are something that we make traditionally, just in the household. But one really great tip that I give people for acne breakouts actually is to make mung bean water. So you can get like organic mung beans and in your local Asian market, and you soak them overnight in just room temperature water. So first you wash it, and then you dump out the initial water, and then you soak it. And if you're having like lots of breakouts, you can have a ritual of drinking the water that's been soaked in the mung beans. So that is a very, very cooling thing to do for the body. And then you cook it in a rice cooker, or you can do it over the stove or in an Instant Pot with the koi seeds. And in Chinese medicine, we use like raw sugar, right? Which is actually like a spleen tonic. Although it can't too much can actually create dampness, but you can put a little bit of honey or put a little bit of sweetener to your liking, or a little bit of cinnamon even, if you don't want to put any sugar in there, and then just eat it like a snack. And it has properties to cool the blood and to help with that. And I also wanted to note too, when we were talking about perilla seeds or perilla leaves, perilla is shisho. So when you in Chinese medicine, it's an herb that actually helps with it helps with do you remember this bone? It helps to dissolve fish bones. It's actually
for food poisoning, from seafood poisoning.
That's right. And so it's not it is not an accident that it is included in all of your sashimi. So when you see the leaf, eat it, because it actually helps with seafood poisoning, and it helps to cool the blood.
Definitely. Um, okay, so I have the slides up now.
Great.
So yeah, so this is the tie-on point, like we mentioned earlier, helps dissipate heat, clears head, brightens the eyes, also helps with headaches, side headaches. It's a really good point, especially if you're looking at the computer screen often for a long period of time. It's a really good point to press to kind of release tension and stress as well. And then Heart 7 Shenmen, again, it's a really good calming point. It leaves anxiety, also kind of like mood blockage. If your like emotions are blocked, that's a really good point just to help stimulate. And then uh, this one that I was trying to show. No, I'm not sure if I got it, but Susan Lee, stomach 36. It is a really big point, so you'll feel that like a depression, and also you might feel some soreness, and that's the point that you're going to be pressing. It's just really one finger breaths on the side of the upper portion of the tibia bone. So again, it's really amazing point to help nourish the spleen and stomach channels. It helps with poor appetite, digestion, nausea and pain. Any other questions that we might have, or any of you guys might have? Happy to answer them. Actually, I have a question. What are some contraindications of using these tinctures? Like, when should I just take a break from it?
Well, one contraindication I can think of right away is if you have a history of alcoholism. So these are alcohol-based tinctures, and even though a lot of companies will say, it's just a minute, it's just a little bit, which is, understandable. I would say that, just to do it with a lot of caution if you have a history of alcoholism in your own personal um, contraindications. Well, so and balance are actually they're tonics, and they can actually be taken indefinitely, which if you overuse it can lead to so once your skin clears, I would stop taking it. Whereas the other ones you can kind of keep going as like a prophylactic.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely.
The other contraindication would be if you are allergic to any of the ingredients, of course. But I think, like for instance, in Elevate, one of the ingredients is poria. Poria is a mushroom. So if you have any, allergies to a mushroom, don't take that. So please look at the ingredients list.
Definitely. So a question, did I miss herbs for menstrual cramps?
So we don't have currently, I don't have anything specifically for cramping. Balance has herbs that help with liver and liver qi stagnation. So it helps with PMS. And part of the reason why cramps happen is in Chinese medicine is liver qi stagnation. So if you tend to have a lot of menstrual cramps, you can take balance the week before, or even 2 weeks before, but probably just the week before, and take it, religiously for 3 times a day, and that can actually help alleviate when you're actually on your period. But currently, I don't have a formula specifically for cramping. There's lots of things. Oh, well, I have lots of tips for it though. You can increase if you're taking a omega fatty acid, a mercury-free fish oil, which I recommend to everyone for skin health, for cognitive health, for emotional health, actually. But if you up the dosage to 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams during your period, it actually will thin the blood, and that will help with menstrual cramps. And then, of course, the topical heat that you can put on there.
Definitely. Sure. And we definitely recommend you see a TCM practitioner, yes, because they will be able to see like what's the root cause of why you're having the menstrual cramps, and it might be a multitude of things. So that's the amazing, beautiful aspect of TCM is like it's very also individual focus on your individual constitution and what what really affects you.
And if you can get acupuncture on like the first day of your period when you're getting cramps, you can avoid taking ibuprofen. It should be that immediate.
Yep. And so I just want to mention that we are having a promotion on the live stream. If you add the Mind Body Ritual with any of Dr. Anna Gold's tinctures to your cart, and then you type in the code YINAXHG, you will get a $22 value discount of the products. So thank you so much, Dr. Gold. It's been so fun learning more about your tinctures. Again, where can people reach you? Do you have an Instagram account?
I have an Instagram account. It's dr.annagold. And you can reach me there. You can reach me at my email, which is Anna@drannagold.com. If you want a full list of the ingredients, you can go to the website. It has all the ingredients plus all of the research that's been done on the ingredients for supporting the indications for the formulas. And I'm so excited to be joining YINA. I'm so excited to be part of your team because the herbs are so beautiful as a complement to your products, and just to get this beautiful glowing skin from the inside out and the outside.
Yeah, we're really tackling it inside and out, which is why we love partnering with you. Yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions on any future live stream classes on whether to go deep dive into some of these herbs that are featured in the tinctures or anything about any of the YINA products, please do email us at hello@yina.co, and we'll be definitely going to add it to the lineup. We'll have more live streaming classes most likely once a week, and talking about various different topics in East Asian medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. We are also upcoming, we're launching our new product, Hydra Cloud cream, and that's super exciting. So please join us on our live stream next week, actually, June 2nd. And we look forward to seeing you guys again and again. This is all new to us, so it's like live stream, like, oh. So if you guys have any suggestions, feedback, comments on how we can make this experience better, improve this experience that you're experiencing, please let us know. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
You, Anna. I will see you soon for some tea. We can get together and geek out on plants.
That's great. I love it. All right. Take care. Have a great Saturday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.